everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what ought to be a great matchup between the Oakland Raiders and the Minnesota Vikings. With that, we send you up to US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Standing by our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, thanks very much. Spread between 4th and 6th Streets in downtown Minneapolis. We welcome you inside spacious US Bank Stadium. The scene a short time ago, this crowd decked out in purple, and they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. We're ready for football, folks, as the Vikings get set to do battle with the Oakland Raiders. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand. Kickoff just moments away. Charles, quickly, keys to the game.
For me, it's coaching. Who prepared his team the best going into this one to give them the confidence to believe that they would win the game? That's who's going to come out of this one on top.
Dan Bailey now to put the ball in the air, and we are underway from downtown Minneapolis. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. So here comes the Raider offense now onto the field. They'll be led out by their quarterback out of Fresno State. It's the Pro Bowler, Derek Carr.
It's been fun to watch Derek Carr grow as a pro. When he was a rookie, they tried to game plan around him so that he didn't have too much responsibility. Now, I don't think they can heap enough things on his shoulders because they know he can handle them.
They go play action here on first down. Catch made, it's Moreau. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. First rep of the game for Josh Jacobs. And give him about 5 as he gets this up to the 48-yard line.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
From just shy of midfield, Carr. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. And the offensive starters here for the Raiders.
So let's all work together on this one because it's natural to just watch the football. But I want all of us to watch the center of this offensive line, the center and the 2 guards. They've got to be able to control the point of attack, and they didn't do such a good job on that last play. Plenty of opportunities to redeem themselves. They'll have to take advantage of that and start to make progress.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. On the ground, this is Jalen Richard. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up 4th down.
Now that was a big-time play by the defense. They as well knew where the first down line was, and they didn't let them get anywhere near it.
On 4th down, A.J. Cole comes on to punt. Marcus Sherrill's back deep for Minnesota. And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. They'll be led out by the veteran quarterback out of Michigan State. The former Spartan, it's Kirk Cousins.
Forget the measurables. His temperament, which is so even-keeled, often masks a burning desire to win and perform. This guy takes it seriously when he lines up to play, and usually he puts on a nice performance.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. And the offensive starters for the Vikings.
For a lot of people, there are pros and cons to playing close to home in the NFL. But for Adam Thielen, it's nothing but pros. Grew up not too far from the Twin Cities, loves being a Viking, and is a really dependable 3rd down receiver.
On 2nd down, Cook. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22. Quickly now, the starting 11 for the Oakland defense.
Vontaze Burfict is a super talent and a fierce competitor. He can do it all at the linebacker position.
And the Raiders call on a nickel set for 3rd down. Working out of the gun, Cousins. He gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking 1st down.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the 1st. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. First down, here's the run with Cook. Cook stripped, the ball's out, and the Raiders pick it up. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27. And now Oakland ready to take the field. They were forced to punt last time. Now, I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. If they want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
Check, watch 54, watch 54. Hey, pick your game up.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Quickly now a look at the defensive starters for Minnesota.
Harrison Smith is a player I love to watch. Whether he's ranging deep as a free safety or near the line of scrimmage where he makes more plays, keep your eyes on him.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. On the draw, Richard. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with 3rd and still 7 yards to go. In danger of squandering their great field position as they come up on a 3rd and 7. Now Carr. And this is going to be incomplete.
As my dad used to tell me all the time, when you're getting ready to play a big-time game, especially when you have one going into a dome setting, better strap it up tight because that crowd can really affect things.
Especially on 3rd downs like the one we just saw there with the incompletion. Daniel Carlson on for the field goal. Remember, he was drafted and released by the Vikings. From the right hash, it's a 41-yard attempt. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked.
So the next time we leave one of those coaches' meetings and we're walking out in the hall and you're like, how come we spend so much time talking about special teams?
Here you go. This is why.
This is why, right? And look, I'm right there with you. We hear it every time we meet with coaches, but it is a big part of it. Look at how early in the game this occurs. They block a kick, and not only does it set a tone, it sends a message for the rest of the game.
Yeah, so much for our first points of the game. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time in the National Football League. They've got to be better at it on this drive.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day of camp in the regular season, ball security comes up about what, the second sentence of the coach's address?
And those are so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do drills to make it even tougher to simulate game situations. Doesn't always work out, though.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Cousins. Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. Maurice Hurst gets him for a loss of 8. What great push up front.
There's a little bit of defense right there. Nickel set, 5 defensive backs. They just snuffed out every route that was going. Quarterback never got rid of the football.
So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. 3rd and long for Cousins. Open here, Adam Thielen. And this play going to be stopped in its tracks at the 32, and obviously well short of the first down. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
So on 4th down, Britton Colquitt on to punt. Back deep for the Raiders, Jalen Richard. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a 1st down now. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. They'll run on 1st down. Richard. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Defensively, though, they had a chance there to hit him for a loss. Couldn't get it done.
Looked like someone was able to knife into the backfield, but he wasn't able to get him down. But his compatriots, they were able to grab him at the line of scrimmage and not let him get any further downfield.
They go back to the ground, this time Jacobs. And he'll get only a couple up to the 22. An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on third down. Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's fourth down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Here's A.J. Cole now as he'll punt it away for the second time. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Vikings will take over here first and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. So that's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
Cousins and the Vikings with a first and 10 at their own 27. To throw, Cousins. And, he took that in one-handed. What a grab. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
It's got to the point where we see guys like that make that type of a catch. Not fair goes through my brain. That size, that speed, and now they're acting like wide receivers, too.
Yeah, tight end one-handed catches. They're kind of like wide receiver one-handed catches nowadays.
Just not right.
That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's second and 11. Throwing, Cousins. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Maurice Hurst able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback, third and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you're doing a big way, and what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here third and long.
Here we go. Here we go.
Cousins from the gun on third. Lets it fly for Thielen. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down.
Well, he bounced up after taking a sack and took a shot downfield. I think a lot of us thought maybe he'd run draw in that situation. Instead, tried to get all back in one play.
Yeah, third and long. Thought he needed the deep pass. Couldn't connect it.
Maybe he was hoping for a penalty downfield to give them the yardage they needed.
Here's Britton Colquitt now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. .51 yards on the punt there. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on first and 10. On the ground, it's Jacobs to start the drive. Tackle made that time by Anthony Barr.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Carr got a man open. It's Darren Waller. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Give him a first down, 15 yards that time for the Raiders.
Like so many tight ends nowadays, they have no problem at all putting him in the slot and letting him go to work, and that's a nice pitch and catch right there for a first down.
What now? You ready? 154. Coming this way, we got it.
On first down, Jacobs. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
From the 41, Carr. That's complete to his tight end, Waller. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Darren Waller, 41 yards, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Now for the extra point, Daniel Carlson. And that makes it 7-zip Oakland. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it ends with an Oakland touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now.
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. Darryl Worley up to make the tackle.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to him back.
On 2nd down, it's Cook. And he is going to lose yardage here. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
The Raiders call on a nickel set here for 3rd down.
Check, tight right.
From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards.
The beauty of route running is it doesn't matter what position, everyone's doing the same thing. In this case, tight end, selling the vertical route. Get the defensive back on his heels, break off for the corner, and with good timing, you get a completion, as we just saw there.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 48-yard line. Cousins gives way to Cook. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. He already has 2 sacks to his credit. Now another tackle for loss.
And you know how you can always identify who was supposed to block him? They're the ones helping up the person who just got knocked to the ground with the ball, right? Whether it's a running play or a pass play, they've got to figure out a way to slow him down. Maybe you chip him with a second guy. Maybe you just out-and-out double him. Maybe you make sure you take the ball and throw it as far away from him as possible, because right now he is wrecking things for them.
Watch the curl. Watch the curl.
They go play action. Cousins. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 26.
I know we just saw a nice throw and catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
No gain on the dump off. It's 2nd down. Now the old pass completion for no gain, not something you want to call up out of the playbook too often.
Yeah, most offensive coordinators don't have that on their play sheet, so they've got to go back and scramble after this one. But right now, with what they're telling receivers about making sure you take care of the ball in open field, sometimes the fighting for extra yardage doesn't come as a result. That and good tackling can lead to no yards gained.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. 25 yards for the touchdown as his guys are on the board here in this 1st quarter.
When we draw up defenses on the board, we do account for every receiver. But on that particular play, somehow he was wide open, became an easy touchdown pass.
Dan Bailey now for the extra point. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. So that drives 7 plays in length, and it's polished off by a Viking score. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Carr now to throw. He'll find his tight end. That's Waller. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
To throw again on second down. Carr. Throw left side complete. It's Jacobs. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and it'll be third down.
It's a gain of 2 yards, and it's third down.
Throwing his Carr on third down. He'll find his running back here, Richard. Give him 2 yards on that play, and that'll bring up fourth down. Here's A.J. Cole now as he's on to punt for Oakland. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away.
Let's go. Let's do it.
7-7, our score after one. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display. If you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Hey, man.
Draw play, Cousins to Cook. Takes this to the 27, give him 4 yards.
Back-to-back 4-yard runs. Now, look, if they just do that all the way downfield, ball ends up in the end zone, but that's a little difficult to do.
Yeah, I think now 3rd and 2, that defense ready to stiffen up and stop that run. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Cousins now. This to C.J. Ham, the fullback. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 17 yards, first down, Vikings.
I think the good offensive coordinators in the league now are looking at the fullback position and finding the right guys to hide in that spot and increase their passing game, as we just saw there. How about the run after catch? Racked him.
Well, yeah, whether it's a true fullback, a tight end you put in the fullback spot, you know they're going to be tough to bring down if you can get them the football in the passing game.
Here we go. He's checking. Crash.
They'll run on first down. Cook. And this will be taken across midfield and into Raider territory. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves them with a 2nd and 3.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Check 50.
From just shy of midfield, Cousins. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. Throwing is Cousins. This is Johnson. He's got it. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 25-yard line. Cousins now hitting on 80% of his passes in the early going. 8 of 10. It's first down. Here's Cousins. It's complete to Diggs. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And he'll take it from the 18 to the 15. A gain of 3. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. The loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
No surprise they decided to throw on 3rd down. A little bit of a surprise that they completed the pass and lost yardage on the play.
So Cousins heads to the Vikings sideline, and on is Dan Bailey to try the field goal. A 33-yarder from the left hash. Bailey's kick is good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
Now after the field goal, Bailey will kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He's just been looking for some space. Yeah, I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about him.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 27. They'll begin on the ground with Jacobs. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
I think there's one element that just keeps increasing on defense in the NFL, and that's speed. They want it at every position, and we just saw there some linebackers who can go sideline to sideline, run past that trash, go past people, and make tackles near the sidelines.
Not only near the sideline, but also in the backfield there for the loss. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Working from the gun, it's Carr. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. Darren Waller, the intended receiver.
So it's 3rd and long, and you know this is going to be a pass. So defensively, they're bringing an extra defensive back and just blanket the field. And this is an ill-advised throw right here as it winds up being picked off easily.
Kirk Cousins and the Vikings offense back on the field. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes, but right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter. Following the interception, Cousins. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now Cook, he's got it off the draw. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Just a couple there on the 2nd down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
On 3rd down, Cousins. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. The 21 yards there as they convert on 3rd.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. Cousins now to throw on 1st down. And this is Cook with the ground. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll make it a 2nd down. Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Now Cousins here on the bootleg. And that is incomplete.
Brings up 3rd and 5.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. Again, it's Cousins. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And boy, he is very close to a 1st down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a 1st down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today.
29-yard attempt.
And Bailey able to knock it through. And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. So they put together a good little drive there, but ultimately stalling out in the red zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people look at it as a little bit of a negative. They didn't get 6 points out of it, right? Didn't get the touchdown. But that's actually okay. They got 3 points, able to give their defense a little bit of rest, let them settle down over there. So all in all, to me, that's a good drive.
Now, after the field goal, Bailey will kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. Able to slither by. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Derek Carr and the Raiders set for their next possession. He's had a solid start to this game, but bottom line is they're losing, so he doesn't care about his stats. He just wants to right the ship on the scoreboard.
He wants to actually increase his stats because he feels like if he does, that means things will get better for his team, maybe get them back into the ball game or into the lead. In these situations, I remember playing with a quarterback once where he actually ran out onto the field first ahead of everyone else just to say, guys, let's go. Try and create that energy, create that spark.
Well, so far he has 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He'll be looking for that 2nd touchdown now. Richard. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
Brandon, that play certainly felt like what I call a tendency breaker. 1st and 10, they dial up a draw play. That's not a normal situation, but give credit to the defense. They weren't fooled at all and really finished off the play.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. From the gun, it's Carr. That's complete to Richard, the running back.
Complete to Jalen Richard. A 3-yard gain on the play. Brings up 3rd down.
The Raiders on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Shotgun now for Carr. Got a man. It's complete. Williams. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That's good for 28 yards. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 47. Carr going to give it to Jacobs. Anthony Barr in on the tackle.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Carr. Catch is made by Hunter Renfrow. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
And it's 3rd down.
The Raiders on 3rd down. They've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Trying to run for it with Jacobs. And he's going to run into a brick wall right in the middle of the field, and I don't think he got there. Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is. Now listen, now no kick from 50-plus is a gimme, but here you're indoors in a dome. You'd think ideal conditions.
Yeah, and it's one that he would expect himself to make, not just us expecting him to make it. Over the years, my theory is very simple. The athletic ability of kickers continues to get better and better. Check their backgrounds. They were all county, all state, at other positions, not just soccer players. These guys expect themselves to be great as well.
Now they're set up nicely at the 45-yard line after the missed field goal from 55. They start the drive with Cook. And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down. Well, he can be a load to handle off the edge, and he can do it against the pass. Sure, he can do it against the run like he did there.
And you mentioned a load. How about having to adjust to his speed as well? Because not only does he bring some pop, he brings some dash as well. A nice play on that situation.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Throwing, Cousins. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards.
Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop it?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically. But a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
Cousins now 13 out of 17 throwing the ball. He's got a first down. Cook. Down to the 30 after a gain of 3. On 2nd down now, it's Cook. So he got free of 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else.
It's a gain of 4. Makes it 3rd and 2.
The Vikings on 3rd down, 5 out of 9 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
From the red zone now, Cousins. That'll be complete to Cook. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 6 yards on the pickup, and it'll make it 2nd down. Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Fans, a reminder, I have a note card here that says ad-lib halftime previews. So I guess let's do just that as we'll hand things over to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando when this one reaches halftime. Did I do okay?
You did great. Not a bad job.
Hey.
But, you know, writing down your ad-libs.
If you print it, I'm going to read it. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. From the gun, here's Cousins. Yeah, that one's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Well, already seen him catch a few passes out of the backfield in the first half, unable to connect on that one.
Certainly seems like getting him the ball out of the passing game, though, is part of their game plan.
It certainly is because he catches it well, creates a mismatch. You're going to cover him with a linebacker, a corner, a safety. They feel like he can win every battle.
So now here comes the field goal team for the third time today.
A 30-yard attempt.
Bailey's kick is good. And now it's a two-score game at 9, 16-7. So that one is his third of the game. Now, if you're wondering, that's only halfway to his career high, as he once had 6 field goals.
Brendan, 6? Let's hope we don't get that again, please. Can we see a few touchdowns here and there?
That'd be nice. Now, after the field goal, Bailey will kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And last time out, another missed field goal, so maybe their confidence wavering a little bit right now in the kicking game.
And I'm with you on that. I think at this stage, they'd love to not run him back out there in a tough situation. But let's face it, they may have to. So right now, the head coach is talking to the offense coordinator and saying, call this game like we're going to put it in the end zone. Let's try and take the field goal out of it.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. From the gun, Carr. He's got it to Williams. And he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33.
A 3-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 7 at the 33-yard line.
The Raiders try to move quickly, try to get everybody back to the line. Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. He'll get this one complete to Zay Jones. That one will go as a gain of 11. Raiders having a first down as well.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route. And what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
Carr now 11 of 15 through the air. Here's 1st and 10. Now Carr. He's airing it out for Williams. It's caught inside the 25. And he is down deep into Minnesota territory. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. Again, it's Carr. That's complete to his tight end, Waller. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. So not quite a 1st and goal just yet as they come up now 2nd and inches. Again, they'll throw with Carr. This is caught. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. A 5-yard gain, and now they're set up 1st and goal. It's been all passing all the time on this drive. 5 for 5, and now 1st and goal.
Feels like a case of until they stop us, we might as well keep running the offense that we like to run. Don't change up and do something different just because you think you need to.
Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
It's a 5-receiver set. 3 to the left, 2 to the right.
Get the ball. 54.
Second down and goal. Carr to the goal line, but it's incomplete. Alone to the right is Jones. Can this Vikings D hold up one more time? 3rd and goal. Operating from the gun. Carr. That's going to be caught by Williams for a Raiders touchdown. Tyrell Williams in the final seconds of the first half as they have now chopped this lead down to 3.
That's one of the better examples of clock management I've seen. Whittled it all the way down just about and still put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, just a methodical drive and something really to take into the lockers here. Carlson on for the PAT. And it's good. It cuts it to 2. 16-14 our score. So that drive goes 8 plays, and it winds up in 6 points for the Raiders. So the lead shaved to 2 now as the kickoff is away. This will be fielded at the 6. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
And the first play of the drive there is incomplete. So we have reached halftime here in a tight 2-point contest. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome in everyone to an abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. Back and forth, we win in that first half. This has certainly been an entertaining one to watch thus far. So let's get right back out to it as we'll rejoin our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. This will be fielded at the 6. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Certainly looked like maybe his third or his fourth read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
You don't want that, baby. You don't want that. Hey.
On play action, Cousins. Oh, nice move. He gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook. That one good for 26 and a first down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 49-yard line. Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. And he's going to be brought down inside the 45 at the 43. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. On 2nd down, this is Madison. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
They'll need the 39 here for a first. This is 3rd down. Play fake. Cousins. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. A gain of 32 that time.
How you leave a receiver of that caliber, that wide open on that play is absolutely beyond me. You've watched tape. You've gone over the scouting report. Your first move should be double or triple him and make sure someone else doesn't beat you.
Well, especially on 3rd down. That's what's really baffling. So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. They were looking for Johnson that time, but it'll be 2nd down.
It's now 2nd and 10.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. To throw is Cousins. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. Cousins again. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. From 10 yards out. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage.
The big fella was the recipient there for that touchdown pass, and it seems like more and more the tight end is the guy you have to worry about most in the passing game.
Here's Bailey now for the extra point. And that makes it a 9-point game. So that one, an 8-play drive. It spans 75 yards. And it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Tyrell Williams heading back out onto the field now. And we roll tape now on his solid performance.
And what we've been seeing so far is a great combination of finesse and aggressiveness in running his routes and making plays. That's what you want in any type of a receiver. The guy knows exactly what to do on a given play and ends up making the plays that help your team win.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. From midfield, here's Carr. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10.
Here we go. Here we go.
Throwing again. Carr. Wide open receiver complete. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 34-yard line.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You've got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Hey, we're good.
Jacobs now. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Tackle made by Everson Griffin.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Once again, it's Jacobs. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Working from the gun, it's Carr. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. Shamar Stephen coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th. He was trying to keep his eyes downfield. Nobody came open.
He's trying to do everything that he had been taught, right? Every bit of the technique. But if no one's open, there is no technique except make sure you hold on to the ball as you go to the ground when you're getting sacked.
Daniel Carlson set for the Raider field goal. And remember, he had one blocked earlier. And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice, an ambitious effort, but it's well short. And this score will stay right where it is. Down here in the third quarter, obviously that's one they could have used.
Yeah, one of my favorite special teams coaches in the NFL told me what separates the kickers in the NFL versus the ones who are not is not the misses. It's the second miss in a row. Best kickers in the league, they don't miss 2 in a row. He's got to get his head back together in case he gets another shot.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
From just shy of midfield, Cousins. He's got Smith here. And they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be third down.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up third down.
You can't block me. You can't block me. You can't block me.
Third down, Dalvin Cook. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. 8 yards, first down as they're able to convert.
Brandon, they're still in the lead, but momentum's certainly been going the opposite direction. So to me, that's a really important pickup there on third down.
Try and regain some confidence, and you're right, they need to stem the tide a little bit. That certainly helped. Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10. Play action now. Cousins. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And that'll be caught by Diggs for a Minnesota touchdown. Kirk Cousins with 3 touchdown passes now in the afternoon. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. And that was really just a great battle for that football on both sides. The result is a touchdown.
Ordinarily, I'd like to say it was a win-win, but it really wasn't because the defender, while he was there with excellent coverage, he didn't get the benefit, did he?
But he's not going to get chewed up in film session, will
No,
he?
he was right there. They'll tell him, okay, of course you need to knock the ball away, but they won't be too upset with him. He did his job for the most part.
Mike Zimmer's made the decision. His guys will go for 2. They'll try and run it here. And he is not going to get in there. He stops short of the goal line, and the lead is going to stay right where it is. So the defense gets the stop. I know it's situation to situation, but who has more pressure there, offense or defense, when they go for 2?
I truly believe it's the defense has more pressure because the offense has an entire playbook wide open from the 2-yard line. You can run it, you can throw it. So defensively, I think most teams are going to be aggressive and force the issue and try and bring pressure.
Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This one fielded at the 5. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
Let's go.
So out come the Raiders. And they've got to be a little bit frustrated about that last drive. Missed field goal.
Always hurts a team because, you know, you've put something out there, you've given yourself a chance, you're in range, and the ball doesn't go through the posts. But it's not something to panic about, I don't believe. Just keep playing and keep going.
Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. On play action, it's Carr. He'll find his tight end. That's Waller. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Nice play call, a little bit of play action right there. If you can get those linebackers to freeze for just a split second, that's usually all the room you need in order to get it to your tight end.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. That one a first down pickup of 8.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down.
Watch the twist, watch the twist.
Running is Jacobs. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
On 2nd down and 4, Carr. That's complete to Richard, the running back. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 36. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. To throw again, Carr. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. The defensive end, Daniil Hunter, drops him.
And that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
Carr and the Raiders following the sack, looking up at a 3rd and long. From the gun, it's Carr. They'll find his running back here, Richard. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40.
That's certainly playing down a distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
So now here comes the field goal unit again, and this phase of the game has been an absolute disaster so far. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. So a good kick that time, and that might help to get the negative thoughts out of the mind from that earlier block.
Especially since this was not a chippy, so he had to get that one out kind of low. But his line does a nice job of protecting, and he's able to convert for 3.
On the field now as they will send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Trying to fire up that running game with Dalvin Cook. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That's good for 21 yards and a first down. Got to give a nod of appreciation to some of those guys up front over on that left side. Several key blocks sprung here.
No appreciation for the guys from the backside that didn't allow any leakage, anybody could run him down from the backside.
They're at the kids' table.
Okay, so front side guys good,
Yep.
Backside guys,
Meh.
That's what you're supposed to do?
I've had better.
Okay, either way, worked out quite well, didn't it? A nice sizable gain.
They run again on 1st down. Cook. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of 2 there. 2nd down.
Well, partner, I guess sometimes it's just a matter of philosophy. Some say run it until they absolutely stop you, and others say, well, when you think they're about to stop you, fool them a little bit. I guess they should have tried to fool them on that play.
They go play action. Cousins. And this is Cook with a grab. And he'll get it down here to the 43. The line to gain is the 33 on 3rd down. Working out of the gun, Cousins. He's going to loft one deep left side here. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
Finally, a good play there defensively on the deep ball. The secondary has had its struggles this entire game. Offensively, they've had their way with them.
Here's Britton Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away.
Let's go.
Drive started, and last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20. On 2nd down, Jacobs stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
He was brought down by Emerson Griffin. 5 yards on the play. And it's 3rd down.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Shotgun now for Carr. Got a man. It's complete. Williams. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. That one will go as a gain of 11. Raiders having a first down as well.
But give the defensive guys a little bit of credit. They didn't let the deep ball beat them on that play, did they?
No, the drag, that guy can be your safety valve. We saw it right there.
Yeah, and it picked up a first down for them, too.
Carr now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Now a carry for Jacobs. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll, in fact, tackle him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
Well, that's pretty symptomatic about how things have gone here. That play was just shut down right from the start.
And not going to give them a lot of confidence to help turn things around. Carr to throw on 3rd and 1. Throw right side going to be caught by Waller. And he gets it down to the 48, enough for the first. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to, pick up a first down.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Carr gives to Richard. Eric Kendricks in on the tackle. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Now, ready? Check. Watch 54.
From the 45 on 2nd down, Carr is complete to Jones. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37.
Face mask. Defense.
Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
And they've got another 1st and 10 as the penalty keeps this drive moving.
Right there, 54, right there.
From the gun, Carr. Got his man, that's Tyrell Williams. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Tyrell Williams, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon as his guys are back within a single score.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And it ends with an Oakland touchdown. A 5-point game now as here comes the kickoff. This is taken at the 3. And they'll have good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. And after a sluggish start, he's really bounced back. The numbers bear that out.
And you're a baseball guy, partner. How many at-bats over the course of a baseball season?
Oh, boy, 4 in a game.
Yeah, about 4 in a game.
4 times 162.
350 or so, right? Sometimes it takes a while for a guy to get going. That's my point. It's not the first few carries. You don't worry about that. As they go along, get that guy lathered up, get those blocking assignments down. Those 2-yard gains turn into bigger gains as the game moves along.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. To throw, Cousins. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. He was looking for his tight end there, Kyle Rudolph. And it's 2nd down.
When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. A give to Cook out of the gun. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking 1st down.
That gives him 98 yards in this game, and he's got to feel pretty good about that, but the entire offense does. The big thing, though, Brandon, they've got to get to 100, though.
You think he knows he's at 98?
I think someone has told him by now, and here's the thing. Getting to 100 or more is tangible evidence that you've had a nice day running the football, and that's what his offensive line wants for him and for themselves.
On the carry, it's Cook. And just 1 yard here from the 49 to the 50. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
On 2nd down, Cook. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 12 yards there, 1st down Vikings.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front 7 reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
Down. Here's Cousins. Complete. It's Johnson. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking 1st down. Here's Madison running on 1st down. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. Good gain there on first down and keeps them in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. And he's taken down after a gain of 3 as they move it from the 22 to the 19.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. Now a run with Cook. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs. Starting to feel a little to me like the air is coming out of the balloon, so to speak, defensively.
They're taking their will from them right now. That's what they're doing. Whatever they want to call, it's working. They're handling things up front, and it's not just the offensive line. It's everyone. You're seeing the guys on the perimeter blocking downfield and making sure that they're secure. So, yeah, you're exactly right. The air's out of the balloon, and right now they're almost lifeless.
On the ground, it's Cook. And able to surge forward for about 5 yards down to the 10.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now.
Let's set a tone, fellas. Let's set a tone.
Running the jet sweep. This is Thielen with it. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll lead here to a 3rd down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
On 3rd down, Cousins. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
But that was certainly an aggressive call and an aggressive play. Instead of just going for the first down, took the shot in the end zone, went for the touchdown.
Yeah, and on 3rd down, they said, forget about the sticks. We want 6. And Bailey able to knock it through. And that'll push the lead up to 8. From a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a 1-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
Now, after the field goal, Bailey will kick it away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started, and they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive.
And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. But this will fortunately wind up out of bounds.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Operating from the gun, Carr. This will be caught. Tyrell Williams. And he's got this down to the 35. That one good for 13 and a Raider first down. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this one. He's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. Carr completes it. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Carr. That's complete to his tight end, Waller.
Sometimes the most effective routes are the ones that you run in the backyard. You probably ran them when you were 5 years old. How about a little curl there against zone? But the key to it is finding the open spots in the zone. How a linebacker or a defensive back will widen to give you space. Find that area and let your quarterback hit you.
Carr going to try and throw on 3rd down. He's got a man open. It's Hunter Renfrow. And he will have the first before he's brought down right on the chalk of the 20. That good for 6 as they keep this drive right on rolling. So 5 plays on this drive, Charles. All passes, all completions. And just like that, they're in the red zone.
And don't you think the playbook opens up a little bit more now? Because all they've done is throw the football. If you want to run it now, you may very well have them fooled.
What down? 54 miles.
Carr now on first down. He completes it to Jones. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. Catch made, it's Moreau. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defensive side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
1st and goal, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion here are musts. Again, they'll throw with Carr. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. Everson Griffin on the sack, taken to the 4th round back in 2010. What a steal.
That I'm struggling to understand a little bit. That close to the goal line, 1st down, run the football. If you want to throw it, throw some play action on 2nd down.
They'll try again on 2nd and goal after going backwards to the 12. Here's Carr to throw. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Daniil Hunter picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
2nd goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football, had to eat it, and ended up on the ground.
And now they're looking for 19 yards here on 3rd down following 2 negative plays. They'll run with Jacobs. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. A good job there defensively to stop him for a gain of just 4, and that'll bring up 4th and goal.
I know this is your spot, partner, so forgive me for jumping in, but there's no decision right here. They have to go for it in this situation. They're down on the scoreboard. How many other opportunities are you going to get?
Yeah, I'm with you. 4th quarter, like you said, down on the scoreboard. And remember here, a field goal virtually does them no good. The kick by Carlson is good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So an interesting call there to take the 3. I mean, I guess they're thinking that their hands were tied, but, 4th quarter, that field goal might not help them that much in the end.
Yeah, eventually they're going to need the touchdown. The thinking must have been they didn't feel confident about picking it up there, hoping maybe on defense they can get better field position, get a turnover, get a better play, and then they'll have a chance to attack the end zone.
A 5-point game now as here comes the kickoff. This is taken at his 4. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. Responsible for well over 100 yards of total offense, but still hasn't found the end zone. You think that's in the back of his mind going into this drive?
It's always in the back of the mind of a player who's having that type of a day because you want that gratification for your work, right? You want that stamp on top of everything. But bottom line for him, he's doing great work. Sometimes it just opens it up for other people to actually get into the end zone for him.
The runners, would they rather have 60 yards, 3 touchdowns, or 150 no touchdowns?
I think more than likely 150 and no touchdowns. But all the runners that I know would say, I'll take 150 and 3 touchdowns. They're greedy that way.
Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Brandon, you know how many times we've done games, and at the start of the 4th quarter, we see both teams hold up the 4 fingers, 4th quarter is ours. Well, how about this drive? You saw the 4 fingers for 4-minute offense, and this offensive line has really hunkered down and established themselves.
Now, this is where they say, put the game on our shoulders, we'll lead the way, right?
No doubt about it, and let me tell you, if you're a running back, all you want to do is get behind those big fellas, have a little vision, and find some space.
And a solid way to do that on the first play of the drive there. Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And he finds Cook. He'll get 15 and a Vikings first down. Big hook up there, forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he's going to be brought down inside the 45 at the 43. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Well, at this stage, that's exactly what you want offensively. Good run on first down, stay in bounds, keep that clock rolling.
And look at that play chart that the play caller has in his hands right now. That's what you got to focus in on because That's divided up by sections. And right now, he's looking at that 4-minute offense section. What running plays do we have to bleed down the clock and take care of the football? Right now, they're executing.
And this is caught inside the 5. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Stephon Diggs with his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Extra point try by Bailey. And this one gives his guys a 12-point lead. 5 plays there on that drive. And it's polished off by a Viking score. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. Fielded about a yard deep. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. So Derek Carr in the offense. Down by 12, 2:23 to play. They have all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning, but they need 2 scores. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at the 20. On the draw, Richard. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. A pickup of 10, and it's enough for an Oakland first down.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. On 1st down, Carr. He's going to find and complete it to Renfro. Now it looks like we've got a Raider here, slow to get up. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. Here's Carr. And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down. Everson Griffin in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. Working from the gun, it's Carr. He's going to let it fly. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. That's a first down and then some, a 32-yard pickup.
That's an excellent read right there. Saw cover one. That means it's just a single high safety. So you know if you throw the ball to the outside part of the field, help is going to be a little bit late getting there. And he puts one out there for a big-time completion.
To throw his Carr. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10.
Set the tone, defense, let's go.
Throwing again. Carr. Caught by Jones. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. And on that last play there, he's over 400 yards passing now.
You know what that generally means?
Success.
That, and it means you really didn't miss opportunities. Usually very accurate. The ball's getting to the right place. Guys are making yardage after the catch to help you out that way. I mean, the whole team has picked it up. And don't forget, that means the offensive line has had to pass protect pretty well, too.
Yeah, everyone dialed in. To throw, it's Carr. And able to complete it to Moreau. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 17-yard line.
And the game just keeps evolving. Big guys running those corner routes, so difficult to cover.
First down now, but that clock rolling.
Mike 5-4, Mike 5-4, Mike 5-4.
Into the red zone, it's Carr. He's got it to Williams. And here he'll get it down to the 7. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. Still a few inches short of a first down as they come up now on 2nd down. Now a play fake. Carr. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
You got to be precise with your throws, especially in this situation. You're inside the 10-yard line going into the end zone. But sometimes the emotion, the excitement, sometimes the decisions just aren't made very well because of that.
So 3rd and inches, and this will be the 9th play of the drive. They fake the handoff. Now Carr. And he's going to go down. Sacked right around the 17. Now the Raiders going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. They go with Jacobs. And this doesn't end well at all as they stop him far behind the line to gain. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Vikings defense is going to get the football back. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they've got this one in hand. No timeouts remaining defensively, so this one should just be one kneel and then handshakes.
A loss of a yard brings up 2nd and 11 at the 17-yard line.
So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
So you get the sense that whatever was said at halftime obviously hit home. I think it's a little bit more than that, though. Obviously, there are words that are said, and, hey, come on, guys, we have to play better. But sometimes it's just sharpening your execution, sharpening your focus, and maybe doing the things you practiced all week without major adjustments, just doing them better. And that got it done in this one.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. It's a win for the Vikings as we say so long from Minneapolis.